2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Tonight, we'll see the Boston Celtics playing against the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn looking very confident right now. It's been a very successful first half of the season for them. When the opportunity to win a ball game has been there for them, they have grabbed it over and over. And you look at Karis LeVert. Tough luck with injuries, but when he is healthy, Shaq, he can put up points in a hurry.
Reminds me of my main man, Kenny Smith, herky-jerky on that dribble off the drive. Also has the athleticism to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, I agree. I used to do that, but he keeps his head up on the drive, which is really good for his size. Not just a threat to score, but he's unselfish as well.
That'll be a wrap as we take you courtside. Thanks for joining us.
A terrific evening look at Old Town there. The historic city of Boston is our backdrop tonight. Welcome, folks. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for the latest presentation of our NBA basketball. I'm Kevin Harlan here with Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and our sideline reporter, the Hall of Famer David Aldridge. Tonight with us as well, the Book of Basketball author, Bill Simmons. Bill, great to see you.
It's great to be here. Nobody is more impressed than my 11-year-old son, who can't believe that he's playing a video game and gets to hear my voice. When he hears my voice just yelling at him normally, now he gets to hear me break down basketball.
But it's kind of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, he likes it. Yeah.
Hey, Dave.
Well, last season, the Celtics tried to balance minutes between a talented core of younger players along with their...
And I feel, David, they're still in great position. I know you do, too. Thanks for that report. You know, Bill, you've seen Gordon Hayward work his way back from injury. How much longer do you think until he's 100% both physically and mentally?
Well, he's basically lost 2 years. You know, he lost the first year, obviously, because of the injury, and then the second year was really up and down, and he would have these waves where he was confident for a week or two, and then it would just go away again. Heading toward the playoffs, he looked great, and then it went away again. And I always felt like he had a little bit of PTSD from the injury, where there would be times where he just didn't want to drive in traffic and bounce off people and play in the air. And if you watched him in Utah, that was all the stuff that made him special. And he was a really athletic player, and when you lose that, it's hard to get back. It's hard to trust, like, when you land, somebody's foot's not going to be there.
It's like if you blew a knee, you're always worried about people down around you, right?
So the role model would be Paul George, because Paul George, you could see the first year he came back was a lot of the same. You know, he was a little nervous in the air. He wasn't as physical as he used to be, and then it came back and then some. So the hope with Hayward is that that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Here are the starters for Brooklyn. Spencer Dinwiddie out there with Irving, and it's Durant. Then there's DeAndre Jordan, and it's Allen in at the power forward. And for the Celtics, Walker and Brown, they're manning the backcourt. Tatum and Hayward make up the 2 forward spots, and it's Howard in at the 5. Brown wide open, he fired, and off target as he starts the game 0 for 1. Irving against Brown. Irving drives in, and DeAndre Jordan throws it down. And Gordon Hayward, obviously a tremendous performer. Bill, where do you rank him against other wings in the NBA now?
Probably one of the best all-around wings, I would say. And I think it's pretty easy to forget that there's a reason the Celtics are paying this guy almost $30 million a year. He was one of the top 15 players in the league. He was a borderline franchise player on a top 8 playoff team, and is just really good, and he's efficient. So when you talk about a team like the Celtics, where, you know, you got to share the ball, Tatum needs more shots, everybody's got to have a little. He's the perfect guy to have because he's happy going 8 for 15.
Now here's Walker following the shot by Kevin Durant, and here's Brown outside. The basket good off the assist from Hayward.
Hey, guys, that's just outstanding confidence from Brown. I mean, getting up with the shot right away and giving the defense no time to react, that's impressive.
And the shot is good.
And they've scored several times already here in the first quarter on the inside.
Here's Walker. He's playing a pretty big role for him at the offensive end, averaging about 12.5 points a game. He kicks it to Tatum. from outside the arc. And again, Boston with the triple.
You know, the three-point shot, guys, is something that Brown continues to improve upon. It's important for him to be knocking down these looks to expand his offensive repertoire.
Bill defenders are doing a better job of challenging the shooter from the side so they don't foul and don't step into that landing space when he comes down from shooting.
Yeah, I don't like the landing space. And all that stuff. Like,
well, what would you call
load management? We have all these phrases now. It's like, how did these phrases come in my life?
Load management is interesting.
Load management's the worst. Where did that start?
I don't know.
Can we just play basketball?
Just like work. Yeah, just you could figure. Just rest.
What's the thing they call when the guy travels, but they say it's not? It's like he's gathering the ball. That's another one.
Gathering the
Never
ball.
said gathering the ball in my life until 2 years ago. Enough with the weird phrases.
Yeah. Boston trailing. Walker the pass to Howard. Three-pointer. Hayward. A rebound by the Nets. Last time they met was in Brooklyn.
And they did win that last game in this matchup, and it seemed they got the benefit of the whistle.
Yeah, a significant differential in free throws made. I mean, give them credit. They capitalized on those opportunities.
Now Irving, after Gordon Hayward's three-pointer, they didn't go. Deep. Rebounded by Howard. For Boston, they've gone 3 of 7 from the field since we've gotten underway. Here's Hayward, and it's Durant with the rebound. And it's Irving with the ball for Brooklyn. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. That's on Dwight Howard. And Bill, of the championships you've watched the Celtics win, do you have a favorite?
I do, actually. 1984. Came back against the Lakers in the Kevin McHale clothesline game. Brought them back to the Garden for Game 5. It was so hot Kareem had to wear the oxygen mask. And then finished them off in Game 7.
Rambis was the recipient of that clothesline,
He was,
wasn't he? Yes.
and he deserved it. It's not like he didn't deserve it. But the Celtics were just tougher that year. And I try to forget that the next year they came back and beat the Celtics.
Now here's Irving. Marcus Smart missing that last shot, and that one is good.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Very high percentage so far, and if you want to start a game hot, that's the way to do it.
The Nets have gone 2 for 2 in the game at the line.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Really, guys, it's just come together for them at the charity stripe this season. I mean, the confidence is there, and so too are the results.
Yeah, Smart, a dominant player in a number of ways, but consistency with the jumper, I think, would put him over the top.
Harris dishes to Prince. Back to Harris. Outside Irving. Just 5 to shoot. Shoots over Walker, and it's Brooklyn scoring again. 1:10 left in the first quarter. Celtics trail by 7.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Tatum wide open, he fires one. That falls. Nice feed that time from Walker.
Yeah, I think the train has left the station in regards to Walker ever being able to live his shoot-first reputation down. But as we see here, this is a guy who can make some spectacular passes.
Prince kicks to Jordan. Prince trying to free himself up, and it's off the back rim. No good. Last game for Brooklyn, they picked up the W against the Heat. Tatum's shot is off. Pass to Irving. Lobs it up for Jordan. An emphatic alley-oop jam.
Yeah, you got to respect the athletic reach of Jordan now. Throw it up, and he will bash in the alley-oop.
Boston's gone 3 of 6, 50% from deep so far tonight. Now Walker still looking for his first bucket in this one. In the corner, Smart with it. No good with the triple. Irving with the ball. He gets it up. And no good on the last second attempt this time. And so it's the Brooklyn Nets with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. They're shooting the ball so well in this one. A great performance from the field. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break. Gordon Hayward reunited with his college coach Brad Stevens. He said they go way back.
Our relationship started when I was in high school. He came to my morning workouts and really recruited me at Butler and was kind of the first guy that I think believed in me that I could make it to the next level.
And I'm sure, Greg, that relationship played a big role in Hayward deciding to join the Boston Celtics.
And not just a connection, but a respect. Hayward now a veteran in this league, while Stevens has moved into the conversation for one of the better young coaches in our league.
And for those of you just tuning in, the second quarter of action is where we're at right now. And guys, what stands out to you from the Nets in this one?
Well, when you control the glass, you control the second chance opportunities on both ends.
And, you know, their rebounding advantage has been glaring, simply outworking them on the boards for that entire first quarter.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. On the floor for Boston, Walker and Smart, the guards. Daniel Tice out there with Tatum, and it's Cantor in at the pivot spot manning the middle. Bill, if you were just hired as a GM, which franchise would you model your approach after?
I really like what the Clippers did the last couple years when they realized they didn't have quite enough to win the title. And instead of just being beholden to being darn close but not quite, they actually blew it up and tried to figure out how to create cap space, find some young players,
and still stay competitive.
Build
so they kept the momentum of their franchise.
Yeah, they stumbled into a situation where they had a lot of flexibility no matter what. I think the Celtics before them did the same thing in the mid-2000s. They're just trying to find assets and figure it out on the fly. That's the approach I would use. I would never fully commit one way or the other to anything. The goal is to try to accumulate assets and figure out what you have. And I think the smartest teams do that.
Celtics trail by 9. And the call will be against Karis LeVert. That's his first foul. Some changes for Brooklyn. Allen's checked in for DeAndre Jordan. Kevin Durant comes in for Taurean Prince. And Spencer Dinwiddie subbed in for Karis LeVert. Now here's Smart. And there's the pass to Williams. Stolen by Durant. And here comes Harris leading the fast break. And Dinwiddie with the basket on the assist by Harris. Dinwiddie's got the lead up to 11 now for the Nets. And so it's Smart. He'll bring up the ball for Boston. Bill, you look at the awards given out by the league. Most have been around for a while. But is there any award that you'd like to add? Something that's not being touched on in terms of high performance and success?
I think that there should be a playoff MVP. I made this case in my book.
That's a great idea.
There's always a best guy in every postseason, and I would like to see who that would be. And it's pretty easy to go backwards and figure out who it was. I did that. Just go backwards and have all the backstory of who it should have been, but then going forward, now here are the ones we're adding. I would like to see that. I would also like to see a best bench celebration award, because certain teams just have these guys. They're good at pointing, they're good at fist pumping, first guy during the timeout running over,
chest bumps,
they have handshakes,
all of it. Yeah,
they're waiting at the scorer's table before the game to do the special handshake with each guy. I feel like that guy deserves some shine. Last year, DeAndre Jordan, I think, was one of the first guys I remember who was just great at this before he started playing. Late 2000s Clips. I was like, man, this guy's he's not playing, but he's really figuring out how to affect the game.
Good. I like that. Kyrie Irving's checked in for the Nets. The drive by KD, and then Durant with the dunk.
Well, I love the speed that Durant has. I mean, fantastic at slashing into the paint and scoring right at the rim. That length of stride of his and his speed, lethal combination.
So it's Boston now, after the basket by Brooklyn. Here's Hayward, and that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
No question, he got bumped on that shot.
Yeah, the officials didn't need to talk that one over. It was obvious.
This is his first trip to the line tonight.
And he's putting together a solid year at the free throw line, 79% overall.
You know, guys, that's not quite the same success rate he had at the line last year. although it is somewhat in the neighborhood of last year's number.
Dwight Howard, he's checked in for the Celtics.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And really a reflection of their superior effort level to this point. It seems to me they've gone after this win a little bit more.
Yeah, that was the third straight high percentage look the defense has allowed. The defenders have got to start putting bodies on body.
Now here's Smart. Pass to Williams. Smart wide open, he fires. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Williams. Smart's got his second basket.
You know, I think Williams has a terrific future. A charismatic, likable kid who can be unselfish to a fault.
And entertaining as always. Bill, thank you so much for stopping by. We always appreciate your time.
Thank you. Just, I don't want to do any Celtic games. Can we not do that? I don't want to see that team. Let's do the other teams.
Okay. And Clark, you know what? Bill will always give you a great point of view.
And you know what? I think he needs his own barbershop talk show, Kevin. I mean, he's done everything else in media. Go barbershop on him, Bill.
Yeah, way to play in attack mode and get to the line.
And, you know, the defense gets their money's worth on that foul, stopping the layup and not giving up the and one.
And he makes the first.
And a great front office in Brooklyn. General manager Sean Marks taking over in 2016, and he just signed an extension.
And you know, guys, that San Antonio tree has some great branches on it all over the league, and he's one of them. I mean, he's been a player, a coach, has worked in the front office. Marks understands all sides of the basketball business.
Now, here is Irving. 11 points in the game. Here's KD. Down it goes. That's 4 made from the field. He's 4 of 8.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
I tell you, we're taking a look at some real deficiencies defensively. I mean, they've given up 5 straight good looks in the paint.
A tough cover out there. You want to close out hard on Hayward, but you also have to respect his ability to take you off the bounce. Just playing with poise and confidence, and they continue to put points on the board.
Well, I like the way they're playing. A very smart first half, quality shots, not wasting possession.
Here's Walker, and there are the Celtics with another basket.
Walker has such an excellent feel for the mid-range game, and he does a nice job recognizing when to shoot it from there.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Wound up there for Allen. Dinwiddie passes to Durant. Prince wide open. Off target from outside. Irving against Walker. Tries again, and it's Howard laying it in. Howard's got 4 this quarter.
Such a great rebounder, athleticism and length. Dwight Howard knows how to use those gifts that he possesses.
And so it's Brooklyn, bringing the quarter to a close with a 7-point lead. They're playing a bruising game inside, and it's working for them. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks a lot, Dwight. What are you seeing from your opponent tonight?
They're a tough team. You know, they play hard, they play together, they move the ball.
Thanks for the great interview, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of basketball following halftime.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Greetings to each and every one of you watching at this very moment. I'm Ernie Johnson. Kenny the Jet Smith is here. Shaq is here. One half is behind us. Welcome to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Kyrie Irving was red hot to start the first. He had 11 points and 4 assists. Let's start with you, Shaq. What'd you think about the Nets?
Spectacular half for Kyrie. Time after time, makes a difficult play look easy. A lot of fun to watch, unless you're the one who has to guard him.
And over to Kenny. What did you think about Boston?
They need to break it down. And I look at the individual areas that they're struggling, like they're getting pounded. I mean pounded, Ernie, on the boards. That's a hustle stat.
And we hope you've enjoyed the broadcast so far. We're halfway through the game. You look at Kyrie Irving in this game, he has been everywhere.
And the way that he has helped out with the ball movement has been a difference maker early on.
And, you know, that's not a job they ask him to do very often, but in the first half, I thought he was in perfect sync with his teammates.
Setting the floor for the Nets. Kyrie Irving is out there with Spencer Dinwiddie. Then there's Allen, and it's Durant, and it's Jordan in at the 5. Celtics trail by 7, and at 6'6", Spencer Dinwiddie's tall for a point guard, but Clark, despite his size, very slippery off the dribble.
Yeah, he's ill-like when you talk about him off the dribble, guys. I mean, excellent change of pace, and he's got a quick first step. And once he gets in the lane, his size helps him be a good finisher.
And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. That's on Jaylen Brown.
Well, I really like this kid in college at Colorado. An effective player is Spencer Dinwiddie. He really does it all. Scores, rebounds, passes, defends. Good all-around player.
Mark, a lot of coaches like to run their offense through centers. Any names you can think of who you'd be comfortable running your offense through at that position?
Well, just because I've watched him and loved his game since locking into him. Jokic,
yes.
Man, can he pass it. He can shoot it. He can score it inside. He's got such excellent hand touch. He's at the top of the list. Marcus Cousins, big guy that can shoot it and pass it as well. And Marcus All is also in that list.
You'd feel comfortable with any of those guys holding the ball, distributing the ball, wouldn't you?
No doubt.
And the turnover again by Boston. Well, these small forwards may not be the biggest players in the NBA, but they can still get up there. They're leading their position in block shots since the All-Star break. Kevin Durant, third.
And that's a group of perhaps the most well-rounded defenders in our league. Solid on the perimeter with the ability to block shots on the interior.
Yeah, they really do make up the perfect blueprint of a strong defender at the 3 spot, combining the ability to defend on the floor and in the air.
Clock at 6. The 3. Down through the hoop it goes. That's his 5th make on 9 shots from the floor.
And that stroke of Durant, effortless. I mean, easily pulling up from the perimeter. Textbook form. Beautiful to watch.
Now, here's Walker. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
So one thing you've got to know about Kemba Walker is that this guy can go off at any time. A dynamic scorer that also possesses the killer instinct. And when he gets it going, watch out. It can snowball into a dominating performance.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Enes Kanter comes in for Dwight Howard. And Daniel Tice subbed in for Gordon Hayward. Here's Walker following the basket by Kyrie Irving. Brown outside. The shot's good on the assist by Walker. And that's 10 points for Jaylen Brown. And for Walker, who stayed 3 years at UConn, Clark, he just keeps getting better on the offensive end.
Boy, Kemba Walker is one of the most dynamic little guys we've had in the league in its history. I mean, his ability to score from outside and inside, really hard to match and quite special. He's the type of player who always is surprising you on the upside.
Here's Tatum following the 3-pointer by Brooklyn. Passes it to Tice. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
And Brown is a guy who is hunting contact. Defenders have to be more cautious around him when they're defending.
Smart's checked in for Walker. Wilson Chandler's checked in for the Nets. Brooklyn leading by 13. Irving surveying the floor. Down low, Chandler. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And Boston called for the foul.
Hey, grit and grind are words that fit Chandler because that's what he brings to his team, that sandpaper edge and toughness, a guy who doesn't give an inch and is always fighting.
Smart kicks to Kanter. It's Brown on the wing. Levert defending. Rebound, Brooklyn. Jordan's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game.
just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
And when Irving is feeling it, he's untouchable. A prime-time scorer who can spot up as well as create for himself.
Now here's Smart. And so it looks like the Celtics will retain possession here.
And checking out some numbers for Irving. How's the last month of basketball been for him? He's right around 13 points a night, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. Even though his numbers have been more than solid, I think he'll want to step his game up to another level.
Yeah, and you know, on paper, those numbers are terrific. Most players would be thrilled with those numbers, but as good as they are, I know this guy expects more of himself.
Now here's LeVert. Jason Tatum missing his last shot. Basket counts. LeVert's got his second bucket tonight.
Set up on a platter that time by Harris. A room service dime right there.
And now the first timeout called here for Boston.
Well, it's been an express lane to the rim. Coach can't be happy about that.
And, you know, I think he's going to tell them simply, we have to show more fight on the interior. That's the top priority right now.
And Brooklyn making a change here. Dinwiddie's checked in. 1:53 left here in the third quarter. Brown inside. LeVert defending. And it's Brown missing.
No one to blame on that one but himself. You get looks like that, you've got to take advantage.
Prince's shot is good.
And their balanced effort at both ends has hushed this crowd.
Yeah, you said the key word there, balanced. I mean, their big lead owes as much to their defense as their offense.
Now, here's Cantor. He's still scoreless so far in this one. Here's Tatum. Offensive struggles continue, missing again.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Yeah, rebounding has been a big key in this one, Greg. They've asserted their will and have taken control on the glass.
Well-rounded effort, and they show no signs of letting up.
Almost no holes in their performance tonight. They've been tremendous.
Now here's Smart. Outside Tatum. They double him with Jordan. Tatum passes to Cantor. Shoots over Dinwiddie. Drilled from 11 feet out. And so it's Dinwiddie who brings up the ball for Brooklyn. Next up on the schedule, the Grizzlies. Then it'll be a home game. They start a 3-game homestand with that game. Harris misses. For Boston, they've gone 2 of 6 from the field here in the third. And it's Brown missing.
Boy, just not scoring with the efficiency he'd like to. Tough quarter for him.
Jordan dishes to Prince. And he gets the whistle for the 3-second call. Walker against Dinwiddie. Shot's good by Walker. Walker's got 6.
Poise and concentration on display from Walker. Quick thinking in the paint.
The 3 from KD. That one falls coming off Dinwiddie's feet. Dinwiddie's got 3 assists tonight. And at the end of the third quarter, a huge lead in this one may already have been decided. Nets out in front, running away with it. And time for the short break, and stay right where you are. The fourth quarter is coming up next. Now let's listen into the huddle of Brad Stevens.
One thing we can't do is have empty possession.
And there have been 2 very different performances from these teams today as we get going in quarter number 4. Walker and Smart, the guard. Hayward out there with Williams, and it's Howard in at center. That's the Boston 5. Walker against Dinwiddie. shot's good by Walker. Walker's got the first points up on the board here in the fourth for the Celtics. KD finds Allen. It's Durant with the drive. Banked in off the glass.
Man, he gets it done in bunches, does Durant. He's a superb scorer. You've just got to marvel at his greatness.
Now here's Walker. Inside, Hayward, and Hayward with the stuff.
Clearly, he's one of the best there is in the business when it comes to making that lead pass.
Nets leading by 21. And foul on the shot. So he'll get a chance at the line. And Clark, throughout your NBA career, you always wore number 33. How'd you end up picking that number?
Well, it goes back to my idolization of Lou Alcindor at the time, who is now known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was the first big, graceful guy I saw do a little bit of everything in his days at UCLA, and then I digested all kinds of books and stories about him and just really admired his work on and off the court. Because he wore 33, I chose 33.
And they pick up 2.
Skilled at creating off the drive. Dinwiddie's confidence and focus when he's penetrating, superb.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. Do you think it helps the pace of the game with the NBA recently modifying the shot clock rule that after an offensive rebound, it doesn't go back to 24, it goes now to the new number, 14 seconds?
Well, I really like the rule because you don't have to bring the ball over the half-court line, which is 8 seconds, so it makes sense, and it does speed up the game, in my opinion.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Williams, he's checked in for Howard. Jimmy Ojeleye comes in for Gordon Hayward. And Brad Wanamaker subbed in for Marcus Smart. Pass to Temple. To the paint. Here's Claxton. Takes the assist and lays it in. Picked out the pass nicely.
Big miscommunication on defense. He recognizes it and quickly takes advantage.
Boy, the defense looks shell-shocked. I mean, they're on the ropes right now, on their heels.
Here's Ojeleye. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
You know, he's not a knockdown shooter from there, but when you're that uncovered, you almost are forced to take it.
And Irving is comfortable running the offense. When a teammate's open, he's quick to whip it around and get him a good look.
Fourth quarter of play, and we're about 2.5 minutes through it right now. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Here's Walker. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
Well, you have to give credit to Kemba Walker, who has always found ways to improve his game year after year. Has worked on that shot and tool set enough where he can now be a handful to defend for any guard.
Now here's Irving. The pass to Claxton. Back to Irving. From deep three-point range, and the Nets another 3.
And this offense is in a perfect rhythm, and you can see how they're finishing their plays.
Boy, this is borderline ridiculous. I mean, every single attempt finding the bottom of the bucket.
Irving against Walker. To the wing on the left. Here's Wanamaker. A three-pointer, no good. And with Walker, as he has progressed as a player, you know, Greg, so has his leadership.
And Kemba has been a natural leader for so long during his time. When your leader puts in the work that Kemba does, it has to inspire the rest of that roster.
Claxton, the pass to Irving. And too much time in the lane. They get called for the 3-second violation. David Nwaba is checked in for Wilson Chandler. We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. And Walker kicks to Ojeleye. To the inside, and it's out of bounds. The Nets will take it the other way.
You know, that's just sloppy basketball, giving away a possession. No real reason for that turnover.
Here's Irving. Here's Temple. Outside Irving. To the middle. Here's Nwaba. Releases. Another one falls for Brooklyn.
And boy, did he ever sell the pump fake. Worked to absolute perfection.
And Walker kicks to Ojeleye. Pass to Poirier. Now Walker. Shot clock at 6. They double team Walker. Here's Wanamaker. Busted. No good that time either. Brooklyn's gone downtown 13 times in this game, and they're just over 50%. 7 of 13 on threes. Here's Irving. Second chance shot. Claxton the pass to Irving. Goes back up, and he sinks the layup.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Nets.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And on the year, looking at their record, this game will make it 49 wins.
And they will walk out of here feeling really good about themselves today, guys. A big win over a conference foe they'd split their previous 2 games with.
Greg, they've got one more game left against them, and there's no doubt they'll use this as a jumping-off point to take another game off them later in the year. At least that's the plan.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Kyrie Irving.
He just looked like an orchestrator out there. His teammates kept running to the open spot, and he found them time and time again.
And that solid play in the paint continues here, guys.
Williams with the block. And here comes Walker, leading the fast break. Here's Ojale. His 3-pointer's off the mark. 5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Irving attacking.
I don't know if there's a player in the league that has better handles than Kyrie Irving. As a matter of fact, his handles are as good as any I've seen in the history of the game. Smooth, crafty, cunning. Man, it is so much a joy to watch this guy do his thing.
Here's Walker. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that.
Hey, you got to hand it to Kemba. Much love and respect. He's flat out incredible at handling the ball.
Here's Irving. Here's Claxton. Right side Irving. Shoots over Walker. And again, it's the Nets missing.
You can't look at the result of that shot. They'll take that whenever they get it.
Well, you know, I hear you. That's a good look. But when you're that wide open, I think you got to knock it down.
And so it's Brooklyn easily grabbing this one. All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. See you later.